Mysuara
Guys, with me, Ridwan Rosli in Mysuara FM Hot Top. Today we are discussing about paradox of defending criminals. And with me today is Mr. Farhan Maruf, also a criminal lawyer, a good friend of mine. Hello Farhan, how are you?
Hello, fine, thank you. How are you?
Everything's good?
Everything's good, all good.
Yep. Hello. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, one of the things that we always talk about is, these days when it comes to legal issues, obviously people are more literate and people thinks they know a lot of stuff about legal stuff. But however, today we'll be focusing more on crime or criminal per se, because we have a criminal lawyer with us today. Anyway, before we start, Farhan, do you mind introducing yourself? Tell the listeners more about yourself.
Okay, my name's Farhan. So, I'm from Farhan Ma'ruf & Co. I graduated from UITM in 2011. So, I started my own practice straight after I finished my chambering. And it's been, this is my 4th year.
All right.
In my own practice.
4th year in your own practice.
Yes.
I mean, so yes, just to share with the listeners. Actually, Farhan is an old friend of mine. We've gone back then. I think it's like 5-6 years ago at least.
Almost 10.
Almost 10, yeah. Because I did do my pre-law last time, but obviously I didn't turn out to be a lawyer.
You're better off doing something else.
that is one thing, but interesting things. I mean, Farhan, before you started even with law, have you ever imagined yourself as a lawyer when you were younger?
Okay. During my primary and secondary years, everyone has ambitions, right?
All right.
So I always ambitioned myself to being a lawyer. But during my secondary years, the secondary school years, so suddenly something went wrong, the teenagers issues and whatnot, and then I stopped imagining myself being a lawyer. And then because the examination result was not very good.
All right, okay. Are we talking about SPM?
All together, PMR, SPM.
Oh, okay.
Does not reflect, both examinations do not reflect that, the lawyer quality.
Okay, all right.
But after completing my SPM, after getting the result, so I went for Form 6.
All right.
For 6 months. And throughout the years, the application, suddenly being the lawyer, the ambition that I ambitioned myself during my primary school years, actually
it came back.
It came back.
It came back. Boleh try lah.
Boleh try kot. Noted, well aware of the form stating that keutamaan diberikan kepada keputusan SPM 5A ke atas. More, and I only have 2 A's.
All right.
It was English and EST back then.
Yes, I did EST too.
Yes. So
it just shows that how good your English is.
It was. So I was like, try je lah.
All right.
Better try my luck because I applied for TESOL.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel, yeah. At least you are not a TESOL. I feel, blessed in some ways that you turn out to be a criminal lawyer actually.
So I was like, okay, so maybe I'm better off teaching because my late father was actually a teacher.
All right.
Mathematics teacher, in which I'm not very good in. Okay. So
Okay.
suddenly I'm quite good in English, but I applied for TESOL. So it went unanswered, there was no calling. I said, hey, ada temu duga. There was supposed to be an interview.
All right.
But it's went smoothly during the June, July, August. I was waiting for the answer for the TESOL. But then again, no reply.
Yeah.
None. So around October 2005, then I just found out that UiTM was the only university in Malaysia that had 2 intakes every year.
All right.
So I don't know how to apply. And it was the first time the application was from the online application.
Okay.
Before this, so I asked around. So before this, you buy the application form at the post office or Bank Simpanan National, and suddenly there was no application form. I was like, so how do I apply?
All right.
So I went to BSN, and we have to buy the ID and
Yes,
password.
yes.
And went with my good friend back then.
No more good friends, huh?
No, still good friends, but you know, dah beranak pinak. Dah susah
Okay.
nak jumpa.
Yeah.
So we applied. We went to a CC because we don't have an internet connection at home.
Yes, these are the challenges last time. No, because what? Because just to be fair, I mean, it's why one of the reason that we are discussing this, because some of the listeners of Hot Talk, they are very, very young people, and they want to know how to how to become. For example, sometimes we have lawyers, we have all those sort of people, even like from flying school, and how to become. For example, like right now, how to become a lawyer, and so that when you are sharing this, more people outside there, they get to understand it better. Because why? Because most of the time, the only thing I think it is, to be fair, in Malaysia, we only know a person when he or she is already there, but we don't know how they got there. I think it was the same problem with us, right? Back then, I mean, it's like you wanted to be a lawyer, but we didn't know how to become a lawyer. I wanted to be an astronaut until now. I'm still not an astronaut because I don't know how to apply to become an astronaut. Yes, carry on, Farhan.
Okay, so again, so I listed out the 7 choices, if I'm not mistaken, as far as I remember, the 7 options. So first, second, and third was actually law.
All right.
The foundation in UIA, the foundation under KPTM, and lastly the foundation from UiTM.
Okay.
Okay, so at that time I was still studying in Form 6 in my old school, you know.
And at that time, I assume you are in Johor?
Yes, Johor, Kota Tinggi Johor.
Alright, so this bangsa Johor lah.
Yes, bangsa Johor. No comment.
No comment. Alright. Okay, we wouldn't go there today. Let's not go there today.
So I'm half Kelantanese now.
Oh, alright. So you're half Kelantanese.
My wife's Kelantanese.
Yeah, alright,
My
okay.
wife from Kelantan, so and I myself from Johor. But
So bangsa Johor and Serambi Mekah.
yes.
So bangsa Johor in Serambi Mekah now.
That sounds better.
Alright, yeah.
So you know, with complete disregard of my SPM result, the GIL, so I've applied for all the nampak aja law. I said, oh, okay, praijazah undang-undang. I saw the word undang-undang, so apply.
Yeah.
And I was in Form 6, aliran sastra.
Okay.
Okay. And
So yeah, it makes sense at that time.
yeah, because I thought that okay, kalau tak dapat, at least from Form 6 I can become a teacher.
Alright, okay.
You know, Form 6 at that time, the STPM was actually it's a alternative solution for furthering studies.
Yes, definitely. I think until now it is one of the good choices.
Yes.
Because what? Because sometimes even if you go to matrix, you end up nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Form 6, if you flunk in Form 6, also nowhere lah.
Yeah, but you still can get a job though with
Yes.
STPM. Yeah.
Back then, STPM is valid as being, if you want to apply for police officer, you can get the rank of inspector, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Back then.
So you wanted to be an inspector also?
Yes. So I
Second.
thought that okay, STPM, although it's not very still it was not very good, but I think that at least it's a platform.
Yeah.
At least, alternative. I cannot go to the public university using my SPM, so better try my luck with STPM. And suddenly, it went quiet. I was losing hope.
Okay.
So I was like macam, okay, tak dapat, tak apalah.
Alright.
And suddenly, in December 2005, so I went home. Back then, December tengah cuti sekolah kan.
Okay.
So I went out with my friend. So I'll be back in during lunch lah.
All right.
And it seemed quiet, in the house. It's not lunch lah. It's a late lunch, around 3 to 4 p.m.
All right.
So I went to the kitchen, and I looked at my mother. She was doing dishes at that time. So everything seemed quiet. So I was like, ada orang mati ke? And then suddenly, my mother asked me, being the youngest,
Yeah.
and I was living with my mother,
Yeah.
two of us. My brother, I have 4 brothers. So at that time, one was married, and the other one just baru nak start kerja lah.
All right.
So my mother asked me suddenly out of nowhere. I was like macam ada orang mati ke?
All right.
Kenapa semua senyap? Kenapa ada aura?
Alright, yeah.
Something is wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
But then my mother asked me, kalau dapat nak pergi belajar jauh-jauh, nak pergi ke? I was like macam salah dapat jalan tak?
Yeah.
We are going to live in another city.
Yeah.
Pergi je lah. And then being the mother and the youngest son, and she asked me, habis tinggal mak. So I was like macam, dah tinggal lah, takkan nak ikut.
Yeah.
So I have this love-hate relationship with my mother. Okay. So then my mother asked me, betul ke nak tinggalkan? Dah tinggal lah, takkan nak ikut.
Yeah.
Kalau nak mak pindah lah. And then she showed me the letter of offer from UiTM, pra ijazah undang-undang, and it was in UiTM Merbuk, Kedah.
All right. So that was the turning point.
Yes.
That was what changes everything. That was what made you who you are today.
Before kindergarten, parents.
Yeah.
Now we are parents ourselves.
Yes, we are all parents. We have 2 kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
A daughter. Stop! You are copying me.
A
For the record,
daughter.
we have a daughter and a son.
Yeah, and then just for the listeners to know, our kids is barely a month different.
Barely a month. Yes.
Both of our kids.
Yes. Almost a month lah. 2 weeks apart.
Yeah, 2 weeks apart. So barely a month.
Barely.
Both of our kids.
Yeah.
So don't ask us if we planned it or not. But
That was I was telling you. Stop copying me. Okay. Alright. So at that particular moment, as parents, we envisioned the children of how we want them to be. So my father told me, when you grow up, during 5 or 6 years old, nanti jadi doktor lah, ataupun jadi arkitek ke. And I was like,
lucky enough you didn't end up as a doctor. No? Lucky enough. If not, I'll pity the patients.
No, I was like
for real.
I was like, I'm not smart enough to become a doctor.
Yeah.
Doctor, I have couple of friends that I know from childhood friends,
Who become a doctor?
Yes, become a doctor. And
they deserve to become a doctor.
Yeah,
They
become
deserve.
a doctor because our examination results are way apart. With lots of A's, and me, I cannot even, subtract, divide until I'm 12 years old. I'm very slow learner in mathematics.
So that's why you're a criminal lawyer, though?
Yes.
That's why you're a criminal lawyer.
So I was like, okay, I don't know how to count, but so I cannot become a doctor.
Yeah. So that's why you didn't go conveying. Anyway, I'm gonna stop you there, Farhan. We're gonna continue with this, but before that, we're gonna take a short break and we're gonna listen to Bling 182, The Rock Show. Hello. You guys are back. We are back on Hot Talk Mysuara FM. Today with me, with my very good friend, a criminal lawyer, Mr. Farhan Ma'aruf, talking about paradox of defending criminals. So before we went on a break just now, Mr. Farhan was telling more on how he started how he started with law, how he started with studying law and all the challenges. So, ladies and gentlemen outside there, especially the younger generation, if you guys right now are doing not that good in your studying, even failing in your studying, don't worry. If your dream is there, stick to your dream. Just do your best, go on with it. Because why? Because the proof is that's why you have Mr. Farhan over here. I mean, yeah, he wanted to be a lawyer when he was younger. However, as he mentioned before, his result was not that good. But luckily, he didn't turn out to be a criminal. But instead, he turned out to be a criminal lawyer. And actually, I think it's like because why? Because I know this is a very like sort of an official setting, but we are on Hot Talk. So I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to call Mr. Farhan Ma'aruf or Farhan. I think I'm more comfortable calling him Abot. So why Abot? Maybe later on he will share on why Abot. So yeah, going back to your story, then you started your journey studying law in Merbuk, Kedah. How was it after that?
Okay, so we supposed to register late of December, the final week, if I'm not mistaken, around 15th to 20th of December 2005. So my whole family, being the youngest, and we never been to. It's not never been. My whole family we travel lots of places.
Except Merbuk.
I don't even know where Merbuk is.
So you thought that Merbuk was Padang Merbuk lah.
Yes, I was.
You wish it was Padang Merbuk.
Yes, I wish. The first time, so we were looking at the address and it's Merbuk Sungai Petani.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, okay lah, kita pergi lah.
Alright.
So my whole family, my brothers, their wife, and my nephew and nieces came along nak jalan-jalan kan.
Yeah.
So we went there. During midnight, I was asleep in the car. So the first thing that I saw when I woke up was actually the IPD Sungai Petani, IPD Kuala Muda.
Alright.
I was like, oh, dah sampai. So this is Sungai Petani. Oh, besar bandar dia. Oh, seronok.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that one coming from a bangsa Johor, no?
Yes.
Coming from a bangsa Johor, Johorian, they always think that everything just evolve around them.
Yeah.
So so they didn't know that actually SP or Sungai Petani is also the civilization over there.
A big city. So I was like, being a Johorian, a Johor.
You look up to Singapore.
Yeah, we look up to Singapore. most of Johorians some of them will work in Singapore.
Yeah.
It's a choice of
If you want to go shopping, then you go shopping in Singapore.
Yes. And if you work in Singapore, regardless of what is your job in Singapore, your salary is actually more than executive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, oh, so no. And then reality hits when we see the UiTM Merbuk.
Alright.
In the middle of nowhere. We were passing through this estate, ladang kelapa sawit, ladang getah, and I was like, where's the big city?
Yeah.
And passing through the estate around about 10 or 20 kilometers from Sungai Petani itself, and suddenly in the middle of the estate, in the middle of the kelapa sawit and the getah, there's UiTM.
How long were you there for?
1 year and a half until 2007.
And then after that, you went to
Shah Alam.
UiTM. So that's where civilization start for you.
Yes.
UiTM Shah Alam.
Yes. But if you asked most of my batchmates, we prefer to be in Kedah rather than in Shah Alam.
Why is that?
I don't know, maybe the calmness or anything, the serenity, the environment, the locality. The most people from UiTM Merbuk will miss one smell.
What
smell
is that?
of getah sekerap in the morning.
So it means that you guys don't need to get high on gum or whatever. So you guys are getting high on getah sekerap.
Yes. You imagine the first week, waking up in the morning, smelling the smell of getah sekerap coming through your nose, and then you're getting used to the smell, and suddenly you go to Shah Alam, and rindu lah, bau getah. It stinks.
Yeah.
Totally stinks. Memang busuk gila. Tetapi bila dekat Shah Alam, bestnya duduk Kedah.
Anyway, let's fast forward a bit. I mean, we'll go back to that story, but just to fast forward a bit, you did your chambering in Hasfarizam.
Yes.
And Hasfarizam is famous to be for being like an UMNO lawyer.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was that experience? I mean, it's like from Hasfarizam to what you're doing now. I mean, how was the experience? I mean, it's like from your studying, then you go to law firm, which is more known to become a political party firm, sort of things.
Okay. One thing about me is that ignorance is bliss.
All right.
I don't know about the name of judges. I don't know the name of prominent lawyers. And at that time, before I applied, I was like, Hafarizam 1 and Aisyah Mubarak was just a firm.
All right.
For me, yeah. Then I've applied. So the interview was actually to answer 4 questions. It's a written test. I was like, loh, ada test lagi, aku ingat dah habis dah. So the interview was actually the questions was actually taken from, if I'm not mistaken, the Cambridge University.
So basically, you don't even know that Hasfarizam as a law firm
No.
is a prominent law firm actually, especially in the political arena in Malaysia.
Yes, defamation cases. And I was put under the supervising of Datuk Firoz Hussein
All
at
right.
that particular time in the branch in Putrajaya. And at that time, I was renting out in the apartment in Putrajaya, Precinct 9. And I walked to the office every day for about a month. And then I asked to be transferred to the HQ.
All right.
In which I didn't know where the HQ was until I went to the interview lah. So I was like, they told me the office was actually at PWTC.
Yeah.
To my ignorance, I didn't know that the UMNO building was next to PWTC.
All right.
So I was like, ini bukan kat PWTC, this is UMNO. The firm apa ni? So I asked myself to be transferred from Putrajaya to PWTC. And then I just realized that, Dato' Afarizam, he's a political lawyer.
All right.
He's the go-to guy.
All right. Yeah.
So the exposure was actually very wide for me in Hafarizam. So I was put under the in charge of Encik Wan Azmi, being my master at that time was actually Puan Arlisma. But she's doing most of the corporate matter, the non-contentious matter. And the person who introduced me to criminal law was actually Encik Wan Azmi,
All right.
the partner of Dato' Afarizam.
Okay.
I did not work directly with Dato' Afarizam besides the election petition. But in normal days, my routine would be in the morning I will go to court handling criminal matters, and after lunch I will go to the office handling civil litigation matter.
All right. So this is I think this is a great story that we are sharing to a lot of, especially the listeners and also to the people watching. I mean, from that guy who doesn't know to do maths until 12 years old, and then from Johor, then you went you did your STPM. You went to Merbo. After Merbo, UiTM Merbo, you were in UiTM Shah Alam, and then you were in Hasfarizam. I mean, known to become as a political lawyer, and then from there, how did you become a criminal lawyer? What makes you think that after? So I believe that after you finish your chambering, you decided to set up your own firm, which I see as a very, very, it is a chance or something that is not being done by a lot of people. Because why? Because a lot of people would say that, okay, they want to still learn things from more senior or maybe they join in some other firm, but you made a decision where you want to start your own.
Okay.
What brings you to that?
During my pupillage, under the supervising of Encik Wan Azmi,
Alright.
I call him Sir lah. Alright, so I worked in under Encik Wan Azmi for around 1 year, 1 month, if I'm not mistaken. And then suddenly I realized that I am not very good in following order.
Alright, okay.
I always argued with the office manager at that time because she's supposed to be looking out for these chambering students, reporting to her, and she will decide whether, okay, who's going to court tomorrow. But being the ignorance myself, I went to the court myself. I asked the partner and the lawyers if I can go to court because I don't want to go to the office.
You love being in court. You love you love being part of the action.
Yes.
All right.
For the record, I have never worked in an office.
All right. Okay. So that's one of the strong reason why you started your own law firm.
Yes.
All right.
Because the best part was Encik Wan Azmi was actually the best boss one could ever ask for.
All right.
He doesn't care about you.
I really hope he's listening right now. So yeah.
If he's listening, if I have him in my FB. If he's listening, I will say that he's the best boss because he doesn't care about you, about your well-being, in a very positive way. What he cares is that
The outcome.
I'm giving you the outcome. I'm giving you a task. I will expect you to finish it by today, regardless of what.
All right.
During the first week, I was in Hafarizam under Encik Wan Azmi. So after handling the case in court, I was supposed to go back to the office, but instead, I went out and I see a client, and that was the first time I closed a case for myself.
All right. So that was like the first week of chambering or pupillage.
Okay. After you file the form for your pupillage,
All right.
you are supposed to file 9 forms in
All
total.
right. Okay.
So you will call it borang 1, borang 2, borang 3, literally.
All right. Until borang 9.
Yes, until borang 9. So
Okay.
there are periods of time that you have to file in.
All right.
Okay, after you file the borang 1, borang 2, borang 3, and then you will file in borang 4 dengan borang 5. After you file in the borang 4 dengan borang 5, and then they will call short call you.
All right. Okay.
After you short call you, and then you can appear in court.
All right. Okay. Before that, you can't appear in court.
Can't.
All right.
So
Okay.
I received my short call around December,
Okay.
and when I can appear in court, the first week, I've closed a case for myself. My friend referred me a case saying that, okay, so this particular person, it was a drug case, and the instruction from the family was actually to ask him for imprisonment less than 6 months.
All right.
Okay, so after the handling the matter in court, during lunch hour, I drove myself from Duta ke Mahkamah Kuala Lumpur to Sungai Buloh,
All right.
because at that particular time the family was actually visiting we call him the OKT lah, orang kena tuduh.
All right.
So he was not bailed because the family refused to bail. So he remanded in Sungai Buloh prison. So I went to see the family, and the family said jatuh hukum, he will plead guilty, ask for imprisonment. Although the offence was actually you can pay the fine, but the family doesn't want him to pay the fine. The family wants him to be.
So technically, the family wants him to learn his lesson.
Yes, want to
All right.
rehabilitate.
All right.
Try to rehabilitate. Okay, so the office manager, being the very fussy boss.
All right. Any bosses?
Any bosses, the typical boss,
All right.
called me. call me times, and being the employee, we tend to silent the phone.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't reject call,
Yeah.
but we silent the phone.
All right.
So I did not went back to the office. So I went MIA.
All
I was
right.
missing.
Yeah.
So
Now you talk as if you are the criminal now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
supposedly the day after was actually my turn to go to court. And the office manager texted me saying that you are coming to the office tomorrow. Someone else is going to court.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went into so the office manager actually nanti they want to report to the boss, the big bosses lah, about me missing, call tak angkat lah apa ni semua. I was like, buat macam mana, berani buat berani tanggung.
All right. Yeah.
So I stayed in the office. Encik Wan Azmi will come to the office around lunch hour. So we'll be, with his lawyer bag, the pilot bag.
All right.
We'll be dragging his bag to the office. Said not a word to me. But basically it was his style, He doesn't look around. He just went straight to his office. And my immediate supervisor, the lawyer, came into the office, who knew about I went missing.
All right.
A day before. So and he called me to the office, and to my surprise, as I was preparing myself to be scolded by my bosses, but Encik Wan Azmi doesn't really care. He was, oh okay, alright. Next time kalau nak pergi mana-mana, bagi tahu I dulu. So I was like, wow, blanket approval, blanket consent. And starting at that moment of time that I knew I can do marketing for my own.
All right.
And throughout the 9 months, not 9 months lah, the 9 months of pupillage, I consider myself, I was paying for my own salary. Because the salary was not so good.
Yeah.
1,000 plus.
All right.
And we work macam macai. So I managed to pay my own salary for the whole month of my own pupillage, because I kept in bringing own
Clients, cases
yes,
and all.
cases. And the best part of criminal law is that we don't drag time on cases. Most of the small cases, the punishment is fine, maybe imprisonment for shorter time. So it was very simple rather than the other complex legal matters such as civil or corporate. So it takes lesser times, around 1 to 3 months, and some clients come and then tomorrow, kalau if the drug charge, laporan kimia, the chemist report is out, and then you can settle the case. You can ask for fine.
We'll go to the detail after this, but before that, I think we're gonna take another short break, and this one is coming from Abot himself. This one is Despacito. Enjoy, guys. Hello, guys. We are back with Mysuara FM Hot Talk, talking about paradox of defending criminal. Today we have with us Mr. Farhan Ma'aruf, a criminal lawyer, also a good old friend of mine. Just now we were talking on how he started off to become a criminal lawyer. However, I think so now we'll be discussing more on, this is the perception of most of the people. I mean, how do you sleep at night? How do you sleep at night when you know that you are defending someone who is being accused? Or in the perception of the majority of the people is, how does a person sleep at night when you know you are defending someone guilty? Those are the perception. I think, yes, you might want to share your thoughts on that.
Okay, I received lots of questions, the same questions being asked to me repeatedly by lots of people.
All right.
And say, oh, lawyer, so banyak handle case apa? So I will tell them that, about case jenayah. And then the judgmental look that people will give,
You're going to hell.
Yeah. Sebelah kaki dah masuk neraka. So
no, isn't that supposed to be the judge?
Yeah. Okay. So
Again,
That is supposed to be
that's the perception.
Yes, that's the perception.
All right.
The perception is that I'm defending the criminals, and then they will assume that I know that my client has committed an offense. Okay, let's not go to the textbook definition of this legal jargon or whatnot.
All right.
So the concept is that as a criminal lawyer, I am not literally defending my client. I don't defend him from telling the court that he did not commit a crime.
All right.
My sole duty as the criminal defense lawyer is that I have to make sure that the prosecution has done everything in his power to actually prove that my client has committed an offense. As simple as that. As a lawyer, technically we cannot ask the client whether he has committed the offense or not. And it's stated in the Legal Profession Act, if that we know that our client has committed an offense, we have to excuse ourselves.
All right. Okay. So I think a lot of people doesn't know that.
Yes, lots of people doesn't know that.
A lot of public doesn't understand that.
Yes, lawyer cannot ask his client whether he has committed the offense or not. Up until now, I have never asked my client that question, regardless of what offense. For me,
Because if you know,
I
then
have
you need to excuse
myself.
yourself.
Yes,
All right.
I have to excuse myself because
It wouldn't be professional to do so.
gray area.
All right.
Okay, so when I'm handling my criminal matter, so from the documents that we received from the prosecution, we can actually come to our own conclusion that whether our client has committed the offense or not.
All right.
Okay, that is the beauty, not the beauty, like the gift and the curse of being a criminal lawyer.
All right.
But you have to keep that perception to yourself.
Okay.
Because whatever it is, you have to make sure that every document relating to the offense must show whether that our client has committed the offense or not. Okay, let's say in murder case.
All right.
In murder case, simple. A man is found dead in a kitchen
All right.
with a stab wound.
Okay.
Stab wound to the stomach.
To make it more interesting, a man is found dead in Mysuara FM
Okay, say.
station. All right.
Station,
Okay.
in the office.
All right,
Or even in the county.
All right. In the Conti.
Yes,
All right.
in the county.
All
All
right.
right.
Without the camera.
Without the camera. lah.
Okay. The camera is on. It's not on.
Okay, suddenly someone opened up the conti, coming into the office and found a dead body inside the conti.
All right.
With the murder weapon laying next to the body.
Okay.
All right. So say that the person who were last left the office
All right.
is being arrested.
Okay.
And suspected.
Luckily,
Of
that wouldn't be me. Luckily, that wouldn't be me. All right.
Okay, so the investigation and all evidence shows that he was the last person leaving the office a day before, and then so he would likely be the murderer.
All right.
Okay, the perception is after the news will report that seorang lelaki ditahan kerana dicaki membunuh, but the perception is
That guy already killed it.
yes, he's already killed a person. That would be the perception, and the lawyer will say, you are defending a murderer.
Yeah.
But our sole duty as criminal lawyer was actually to make sure that the prosecution has informed the court that confirm dia ni yang bunuh. The confirmation.
All right.
For
no
us,
one else.
No one else. Okay. He was found dead with a stab wound and the knife was laying next to the body. Okay. How sure are the prosecution that this particular person, my client, was the murderer? Because the fingerprint was found
On the knife.
on the knife. But it's obvious. He has access.
Yes.
Next. Then we asking the prosecution, okay, what other proof? If you are saying that the fingerprint was found on the knife, do you have other fingerprints? So you have other fingerprints. So it can mean that other people would have used the knife
Exactly.
to stab the dead person.
Yep.
Okay, that is our duty. Just to
Okay.
question the case so that the prosecution will 100% sure, and the legal term is without a reasonable doubt, that this particular person has killed the victim.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you get it. I mean, it's like, yeah, we were discussing about paradox of defending criminal. And again, as I always mention in Hot Talk Mysuara FM, is in Malaysia, is the fight against perception. Again and again, it's all about perceptions. And talking about perception, I mean, you yourself, Abot. I mean, before we go any further, but it's okay. But I just wanted maybe your experience. I mean, dealing, as you mentioned, maybe the Surat Khabar, the newspaper, the media, how the media actually portray things, or how the media in one way sway or manipulate people to think. I mean, of course, sometimes as a lawyer, you were, I mean, before this, you were involved in quite a few famous cases. One of the things is when it comes to ganja related. So, how does it affect? Is it harmful? I mean, what is the impact of all these sort of things? What is the impact of the connotation when it comes to this sort of perceptions towards your clients, or how does it itself, I mean, affected you? Does it?
Okay, being a criminal defense lawyer, the best thing is that for me personally, I don't need a clean reputation.
All right.
You know, a clean lawyer will not attract criminals.
Okay.
It takes one to know one.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are watching this, definitely
I can't believe I just admit that.
no. I mean, it's like maybe you can see, if you guys are watching this at home, maybe you can see that Mr. Farhan definitely doesn't look like your average lawyer, especially with what he's wearing right now. But trust me, when he's wearing a suit, he does look like a lawyer. But most of the time, knowing him in my whole life, he always doesn't look like a criminal lawyer. But maybe to some people, to some extent, some people say, but he looks more like a criminal himself. I mean, how can he become a criminal lawyer? But of course, we'll put that aside. Those are, again, perception. There you go. So continue.
I do get that a lot, you know.
All right.
I don't dress like a lawyer. I don't speak like a lawyer. I don't look like a lawyer.
All right.
But that's
why you're a good one.
Yes.
That's why you're a good criminal lawyer. As a friend, I would say. I mean, you're a good criminal lawyer.
Yeah, it's very good that I can mess with my clients, you know. Okay, before seeing me in court, so I have an appointment, say, with a client, and then I will go to the meeting. You know, sometimes, usually people will dress to impress. The first impression, very important. That would be the term.
Yeah.
Okay, but for me, I will go and meet with a client for the first time wearing round neck t-shirt with my
Okay.
jeans, and my wife will actually force me to wear shoes.
To say something that I feel you, bro. I understand.
Yes.
How is it to be in your place?
Yes. Hey, you are going to a meeting, wear shoes.
Yeah.
Not slippers. I love my flippers.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so, and then the first impression, looking at the client will have a double take on you, you know. Will look at you from head to toe, macam, lawyer ke ni? And the person will sometimes, a friend recommended or referred the case, and then a friend will be there, dia lawyer, serious. So it takes time to convince the client that I'm a lawyer.
All right.
Okay. But that's the fight against perception. Knowing that people will judge you based on your looks, based on what you wear, what you drive, or things that have on you.
All right. Yeah.
So that is the perception that I'm trying very hard to fight. It's either you fight against it or you go with it.
Yeah.
So, but when I'm in court, I will have the black and whites, the white shirt, black pants, and the jacket, and something, and then I will behave like a lawyer. Then the switch, the on switch. I cannot say turn on, right? But
So it's like lawyer mode on,
yes,
lawyer mode
I
off.
cannot say turn on, but it's lawyer mode on.
All right, okay.
So when the lawyer mode is on, then it's on.
All right.
If the lawyer mode is off, then it's off. When it's off hours, then it's off hours. When I'm in a meeting. The very important thing is that you can bring yourself according to the situation that you are into.
Accordingly.
If you are out hanging out with friends, you go and hang out with friends. But on a serious note, then you be serious. On related note, then they be related.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, totally understand. Because why? Because again and again, ladies and gentlemen, in Malaysia, it's all about the perception. And also, that is the problem of being Malaysian. Because why? Because when it comes to perception, sometimes we are easily being manipulated to believe someone is someone else just because of what we see they drive, they are. I mean, sometimes people just come to you and claim that, oh, I'm this and this and this. But sometimes they're not true, because you have this sort of people these days. I mean, some people are to the extent they will wear, police uniform to convince people that they are police.
Yes.
We have this sort of things going on in Malaysia, because again and again, because we put too much attention, just like you said, the first impression, the perception. Because what? Because by the end of the day, if you ask me, it doesn't mean that way. If you want someone that looks good or dressed good, don't get a lawyer, get a model. Or maybe because most of the time in our life, we watch too many movies. Too many movies that, okay, lawyers should be wearing like this, they should be wearing expensive suit, driving nice cars, and talk like they know everything.
Yes.
Or at least as if they know everything, and then only they are a good lawyer. And also in Malaysia, we have a lot of perception, especially with Datuk Ship, Datuk Sri Ship, all those sort of stuff. And then that's why these days you got Datuk Sri punching people here and there, or even rela people. And there are also people who just claim they have Datuk Ship or Datuk Sri Ship because of again and again the perception. I think again we're gonna take a very, very short break, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna come back after this, but before that, enjoy How to Save a Life by The Fray. FM Hot Talk, talking about paradox of defending criminals with our criminal lawyer, Mr. Farhan Ma'aruf from Farhan Ma'aruf and Co. So anyway, you've been talking about all this perception and how peoples are when they hear that you are defending criminals, and then also the challenges of being a criminal lawyer. But again, why a criminal lawyer?
Okay.
I mean, you've already told us, all of us, I mean, how you started being a criminal lawyer. But again, why? Why criminal lawyer? Why don't you just go and do, all corporate matters,
property, something?
Yeah,
like
properties.
that.
Obviously, I mean, you can't wear flip flops. Yeah. So besides that, why is it?
During my chambering, so I was assisting this legal assistant with regards to one case.
All right.
Subcontractor is suing the main contractor. So I was like, the project already finished, the payment was received, but it was not disbursed to the subcontractor.
Okay, typical contractor scene in Malaysia.
Yes,
very typical.
Yes.
Yeah, money stuck there, tak turun, ni semua Najib salah.
The best part was,
I mean, although it got to do nothing with the Prime Minister. Prime Minister doesn't even know that it exists.
Now everything is relating to the PM.
Yeah, I mean, these are the perception, ladies and gentlemen.
Back to the topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was handling the civil litigation case, so I asked the legal assistant. We were representing the main contractor.
Yeah.
I was like, project dah siap, dah setahun, duit dah dapat. Yang dia punya klien pun no issue.
Yeah.
Tapi kenapa tak bayar?
Yeah.
Why was not the payment was done to the subcontractor?
Yeah.
And the answer...
It's clear cut.
It's clear cut. The answer was that there was certain work orders with regard to the subcontractor's obligation. This subcontractor was very good in his job. He skipped all the work orders and somehow he had the last work order. So he completed the project without the previous work orders. And
Without proper SOP, that is.
Yes, proper SOP. So that was the...
That was it.
That was it. That was the reason why the payment was not made to the subcontractor. So I was like...
But he did his job.
He did his job. He completed the job. And then suddenly the payment was not made because of that single reason. And yes, we lost the case all through the federal court. But that is the perception. When I say that I want to do criminal law, so the people will ask, why do you want to defend criminals?
Yeah.
But for me, you don't know that real criminals wearing suits and ties.
And call themselves contractors.
No, I don't say that. Don't put words in my mouth.
All right. So okay. I'm not trying to be biased or what, but always, I mean, there's a saying. I didn't say this, but there's a saying. You start to become a conman. After that, you become a contractor. After that, you join in with a few other contractors who begin as a conman and form a consortium.
Something like that.
Yeah, some people say that. I mean, it's quite funny though if you think about it. And of course, you face this kind of problems or this kind of issues. And of course, I mean, when it comes to all of this stuff, legal issues, we are talking about hundreds of thousands, millions, or even hundreds of millions. And yeah,
I know what I'm saying is going to offend certain people in certain profession, but that is the reality. And every lawyer has their own specific expertise in a particular field. And for me, I choose criminal law.
Because you feel nearer to criminals.
Yes, I think we connect.
Yeah.
At certain level, I think that we are almost the same.
Yeah.
So, here's the criminal, and I'm your, you know the feeling that you have when people depending on you because you are the last line of defense. The last hope.
Literally.
Literally.
From between life and death sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes between life and death. Because, for instance, in we call the 39B case,
right,
the drug
39B.
trafficking case.
All right.
You know, the pressure.
All right. So just for that, just for the listeners to know, 39B is if you get caught with a certain amount of drugs, you're gonna get hanged.
Yes. Hang to death.
Hang to death. It's not just a hangover or what. No, it's not a hangover. You hang to death. You don't just get hanged.
Yeah, the term to death was actually put after the Mona Fendi's case.
All right, yeah.
Because they hang her,
but she didn't die. So you need to be hanged to death.
Yes.
So if it takes like a year for you to be hanged and only you die, then they're gonna hang you for a year.
Yes.
Sampai kering. Literally. All right.
Okay, so why I choose criminal law was that because first it's way simpler than other legal matters. If you take on corporate matters, you're vetting the documents, it can take months to complete. And suddenly, towards the end, while you were vetting the agreement and the negotiation failed and burn, habis. You're disappointed at some point. So criminal law, it takes, for a full trial, it takes more than 1 year.
Yeah.
But there's always, although that every case you say, drug case dadah, but you have, you involve in people's drama, the people's life. You encounter different people.
Real people. You don't see that while doing civil litigation. Civil litigation, you receive instruction from your clients. If you have panelships, you have instruction. You receive instruction from your panels, telling you to do this, telling you to do that. If you are handling corporate matter, your client will instruct you. Okay, nak macam ni. I don't care. I want more money. Yeah.
How come this? Ni tak boleh ni. Kalau dia buat macam ni, nanti kita kena macam ni. And then you know, there's problem solving situation. You you really need to assess the situation. It's quite interesting. But in criminal law, you directly involved in the drama. You are the center of the drama.
You yourself is like a part of the actor of the whole play.
Yes. No, you are the hero in the story.
If everything goes well, that is.
Bukan hero lah. It's not the main actor. The main actor would be the client. But dia, kalau dalam sastra tu dia kata watak penggerak. Penggerak cerita.
Yes, ataupun pun boleh ubah dimanipulasi.
You are the variables in
the variables that make sure what's the outcome is.
Yes, determining the outcome.
Yes. So I mean, it's like with all of this being discussed, I got another question. Another question. I got a message from one of our listeners, and the question is more to how do I'll try to put it in a very
It's okay. I can take anything. I can take anything.
I'll try to put it in a very more subtle way, because there's a question asking that. So how do you live knowing that you make money out of people's problems or devastation? And some people say you make good money out of that. So I mean, maybe you want to comment: is it good money? I mean, is the pay really good compared to corporate litigation and all? Because what? Because I think that's the perception. A lot of people because they watch too many movies and they watch Law and Order. So when they watch Law and Order, they thought that being a criminal lawyer, you get high pay, you get to drive nice car, you get money here and there coming from all over the place, and then. Again, I mean, first, how do you sleep knowing that you defended someone guilty? Now, how do you sleep knowing that you make money, through other people punya kesusahan?
Yeah.
So, your comment on that, Abot?
Okay, this is one of the rarest question that I've received so far.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put it this way.
First of all, is the money good?
Okay, about the money. No, it's not that good.
Compared to doing corporate and what?
Real money is in corporate, conveyancing, and civil litigation. In criminal law...
So those are the real vampires then?
Yeah, no comment.
All right, okay.
But I do agree on that. In terms of, making good money, I'm not say it's very large money, but it's a very good, decent living. Okay, makan tak miss lagi, alhamdulillah.
All right.
Sentiasa ada. And to the point where I make my income with relating to other people's devastation. Okay. Let me put it this way.
Or is it actually the other way around actually? I mean, you're not making money out of people devastation, but actually when you save people.
Okay, I think that I don't know about the your friend is asking the question from the victim point of view or the client's point of view.
All right.
My sympathy to the victim if the case, let's say a case rompak, it's a burglary, gang robbery ke apa ke, ada mangsa, and there's a victim. Yes, my sympathy to the victim. We as the people, you are looking the case, the situation through the victim's perspective.
Yeah.
I am looking at the case from my client's perspective. Maybe yes, he committed the crime.
But again, why?
The question of why, the question of how. I have handled a case where a mother was caught stealing a susu baby in Tesco. You know how devastated that case was? That is the drama that I have to face every single day. Can you really digest the fact that a mother has to steal
just to give milk?
Yes, to her children. Curi Milo, bawa isi-isi barang dekat dalam troli, terus bawa lagi. So there was a couple. A couple that I handled that case a couple of years back. The suami isteri ditahan sebab curi dekat Tesco. But the reason they are telling me is that dia tak kerja ke apa. So from my client's perspective is that if he has committed the offence, he's already pleaded guilty.
Yeah.
Kalau dia dah mengaku salah, and as a human being, as a person, why not give him a second chance?
Yeah.
By fact, we all deserve second chance. If the situation happens to you, you will be begging for second chances. Maybe second chance, maybe third chance, maybe fourth chance. But the thing is, it's not happening to you.
Yeah.
And because it's not happening to you, you refuse to understand the situation. You are being judgmental. And therefore, what you see is the bad side of the offense. I have to look things on the positive side. There's a reason why he has committed the offense. I have yet to handle a client who has committed the offense suka-suka.
then if there is any, maybe that person is a bit psychotic.
Yes.
Or maybe we can maybe we can call him or her psychotic. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the answer. We're gonna take another short break. We'll come back after this, talking more about the paradox of defending criminals with the criminal lawyer today, Farhan Ma'aruf. But before that, we're going to take another short break, ladies and gentlemen, listening to Simple Plan. Perfect. Hello. We are back on the last section with Mr. Farhan Ma'aruf, our criminal lawyer, talking about paradox of defending criminals, ladies and gentlemen. We have talked about a lot of things. I mean, at first we start from how a person can become a lawyer, or how a person can start to become a lawyer, and how actually Mr. Farhan started his own law firm and all. I just wanted to know, I mean, it's like you started Farhan Ma'aruf & Co. 4 years ago, I believe?
Yes, 4 years ago, around February in 2013.
Alright, so I mean, you started your own law firm focusing just on criminals.
Yes.
So is it until now you're just focusing on criminals, is it?
Okay. I started as a sole proprietor, means I
All right.
the
only
solo.
lawyer.
Yes, the only lawyer.
All right.
So I was flying solo.
The only superhero.
Yes.
And then you from Avengers.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So
from Batman to Justice League.
all right. And also from Iron Man you become the
Yes.
Avengers.
Yes.
So now there's a couple of you guys.
Actually, now there are 4 partners in the firm.
All right.
Myself, including myself.
So there's 4 lawyers.
Yes, the 4 lawyers, and each 4 of them handled their own respective specialties.
All right. And what would that be?
Okay, for me personally, I will handle criminal matters.
Okay.
I have another partner, actually the most senior partner among these 3.
Senior meaning to say he's old?
No. He joined earlier.
Oh, all right. Okay. He joined.
He joined my firm when I was in second year.
All right. Okay.
So, Mr. Sharul.
All right.
Mr. Sharul is focusing in civil litigation,
Okay.
mostly in running down matter, in accident cases.
All right. Okay.
Accident cases. And another is Mr. Ruzaini.
All right.
Okay.
So what does he do? What does Mr. Ruzaini do?
Mr. Ruzaini, I called his portfolio as he's the head of appeals and applications.
All right. Okay.
Because he has the demeanor to go to higher courts, which I'm lacking of.
Yeah, because what? Because I mean, it's, for a lot of listeners, they don't really understand. I mean, they don't really understand how does a law firm work.
Oh,
and, so I believe a lot of people, even me myself, although I have a lot of friends who are lawyers, but I don't really understand.
You started out with a foundation in law.
Yeah, I did. But I mean, it's like after a while, you don't really understand how it goes. So yeah.
Okay, my firm actually I aim for my firm and my partners. I want we being a boutique firm.
All right. Okay.
Each of us have the specialization, because towards the end, if you are looking at ourselves, 5 years after, what are we selling? Because we cannot, you know, the term jack of all trades.
All right. Yeah.
You familiar with the
Yes,
jack of all
yes.
trades? You know
Okay.
that it's only half the statement. You know the rest, the complete statement would be what?
Master of none.
Yes, masters of none. That is, people mislook the second part.
Yeah.
You can be the jack of all trades, but you are a master of none.
Or you can become Jack and Jill.
Carrying a bucket of water.
Yeah.
So
You can become Jack and Jill. Though.
my firm, we aim for the specialization. Yes, it limits what we can do, but it's better to have a master of something rather than a master of nothing.
All right. So I would assume, I mean, from a layman perspective, would be you guys are like, you know, when you do things, it's tailor made.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like if I go to it's more to, okay, so I want to tailor this instead of, it's not a huge factory, but it's
No, you are getting a bespoke suit from me.
yeah. Yes.
Not a machine made or apa yang gantung-gantung tu semua. No.
Yeah,
It's a
no.
bespoke, custom made.
All right. Okay.
Everything.
So you guys focus on that, and then you guys grew from just one person, and now you have four people.
Yes.
So, but again, I'm just I mean, I don't really understand. So there's 4 lawyers inside, but your name is still Farhan Ma'ruf and Co. So I mean, it's like, it wouldn't be that fun for your friends, right? They don't have their names, so their name is under that CO, is it under that Co? So there would be like the small letterings of their numbers, or how does it work actually?
Okay, typically a firm is named for the from the partners,
All right.
Farhan Ma'ruf and Co. And I have people asking, who's the Ma'ruf?
All right.
But it was actually my father's name. Okay, so because all these my 3 partners, they joined the firm
Later
gradually,
on. Okay, gradually.
one by one.
So making you the Don. So
I'm not
that's
saying
what-
that I'm the Don.
All
Okay,
right.
we've had a discussion to change the firm's name
All right.
when it was actually the 3 partners in the firm.
All right.
But when the
So it can't be something like Farhan Ma'ruf and Friends. It can't be something like that.
No, cannot.
Alright.
You know the names of the firm. It must be
Registered.
Registered. It's not registered. Permitted by the bar council.
Oh, okay.
So we need to give 3 suggestions.
Can I put my name if I invest in your? No, you can't do that.
You cannot invest in a law firm.
Oh, all right. Okay, too bad. Okay,
Not
so
on paper,
ladies and gentlemen, you can't do investment in a law firm. If somebody comes to you and say it's okay, we're gonna do a multi-level marketing system in a law firm, you definitely know it's a Ponzi scheme then. So it is.
Actually, you cannot do it on paper. But
All right.
lawyers, we tend to know how to get around stuff.
All right. Okay. Yep. So I mean, in Farah Ma'ruf and Co. I mean, you yourself personally, how's your feeling after that 4 years? Starting from being solo, and now you have Avengers with you. You have your Justice League, and then how do you see yourself or your firm? I mean, because we take you as a young entrepreneur over here, not just a criminal lawyer, but you yourself is an entrepreneur. You started your own business. You're doing servicing in the servicing sector, in the legal servicing sector. How have you felt? I mean, for the past 4 years, and how do you see yourself in the upcoming 4 years?
Okay, this is time to brag, lah.
Of course.
No, looking way back to myself, from having nothing and all the blunders that happened.
And now you have
in
2
life.
kids.
Now suddenly I'm married.
Yeah, all right.
Suddenly I have 2 kids.
All right.
Simple I can say is that life is good.
All right. Life is good.
Life is good. It's so good that, you know, you understand the definition of the term when you do things that you love. I don't know the complete proverb lah.
Yeah, you never work a single day.
You never work a single day in your life. So what I've been doing for the past life and the advice given by my mother was actually do what you think is right. And that way, actually the advice when she sent me to Kedah was, buatlah apa kau nak buat, jangan risau, masuk penjara pun aku pergi tengok. So that was the best advice from a mother.
All right. So you literally went to jail these days.
Yes.
But for the right reason.
Yes, for the right reason.
Yeah, you go to jail these days. Technically, you does go to jail for the right reason. So yeah.
Life, you will never get the definition of doing something for passion until you take that leap of faith. You just close your eyes, cross your fingers.
And I think one of the thing that we should mention is, I mean, for both of us, I think, because by the end of the day, we have a very strong support.
Yes.
At home.
Yes.
That mean our last line of defense, who's always there for us, who's always there to defend us, who always there sometimes, I mean, no matter how bad it is. So our beloved wives.
Yes.
So I think credit credit should be given also to your wife for being very understanding, and also
yes.
for being very, very supportive, especially for the past years. So anyway, how do you see you going? How do you see things gonna go in the upcoming next 4 years? Being a boutique, being a boutique law firm with all the competition, with all the pressures. A lot of people say the business is not good these days. So what do you say from the point of view of an entrepreneur?
In this current economy, most of the industry is not booming.
But yours is all right.
Well, when it's not booming, then the lawyers they all go to lawyer. Need a lawyer. But what I see myself in, say, I have a 10 years plan.
All right. Okay, not 4 years, then a 10 years plan.
10
all
years
right.
plan.
2020 and beyond.
You don't usually see early 30s lawyer driving big car.
All right.
Lawyers.
So you want to drive a lorry then?
No.
So it's bigger than normal cars, or you want to drive a bus?
Lawyers will spend the first 10 years of his practice just to sell their names.
All right.
So what I'm seeing, I have to keep on the momentum, keep the momentum going for the first 10 years. And
all
just
right.
bear with it. The business is there. It's going up, it's going down, but it's still there. Regardless of what. When you put the value of your practice pecuniarily,
Yeah.
when you put the value in money, then what you see
It's only money.
is only money. You see the money going up, you see the money going down. But if you put the value in the quality that you are providing, then what you are going to see is that the business will always go up and it will be there. That is another perspective. The public paradox in Malaysia. We only see money in things.
Yeah.
Why do you want to open up your own firm? Because I want to be rich.
It's all about money.
It's all about money.
But most of the time, it's not all about money.
It's not all. Most of the time, the money comes next. The first thing is the quality.
Maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't come.
Yes.
Maybe it comes, but knowing
it will be there.
Yeah, but it will be there. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Farhan Ma'aruf from Farhan Ma'aruf and Co. Thank you very much, buddy. Abot, thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate this. We're definitely gonna call him back for another session just for him to explain why his name is Abot. Or why do good friends call him Abot. There's going to be a next session. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in to Hot Talk Mysuara FM. We have gone beyond 6 o'clock. But anyway, thank you very much for still listening. Today, it was Paradox of Defending Criminals with Farhan Ma'aruf. So stay tuned next week for another hot talk session with me, Ridwan Rossi at Mysuara FM. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Me, Ridwan Rossi, signing off. Thank you very much, Abbott. Really appreciate that. So I'll gonna leave all of you guys with Lil Wayne, Lollipop.